All right, y'all. So you're back on here with another episode of the Indigo Podcast today. Got a special guest. Say hello.
Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Felix Rodriguez. It's a pleasure to be here, man.
Not for sure. Appreciate you for taking the time out of your day to hop on here. But just a very general question, like how's life going for you right now? I know you're in college, right? And like just running, just stuff in general.
I can't complain. I'm very grateful where I am in life. So I'm currently going to the University of St. Thomas here in Houston. I'm
Mhm.
studying marketing. With that, I'm doing the BBA MBA program, which allows me to get my master's and my bachelor's at the same time. So it's a 5-year program, but I'm going to be doing it in 4.5. So
Okay.
that's a plus. And then, I'm doing a minor in economics. With this, I want to do marketing data analytics, but I'm still learning, getting more opportunities. As for my life, I ran the Houston half. You know that, to all those out here, I ran the Houston half. Besides that, I haven't been running. I think we'll get into it a little bit, but for right now, I haven't been running. I'm lifting a lot. I'm this is the most weight I put on for muscle in a while. I'm currently
Mhm.
sitting at 160. So I'm happy, man. Can't complain. I'm a first generation college student. So just to be saying a lot of this stuff, to be saying, but I live in Houston. I'm able to do things that I've never thought about. I'm very grateful. So there's nothing beyond that, but being grateful and looking to the future.
Nah, for sure. I'm glad you really stressed like being grateful. I think it's all you can ask for, bro. Like, 'cause I mean, one thing I realized, I'm not gonna get too philosophical yet, but just one thing I realized, like personally, is bro, like you can have all the running achievements or all the materialistic things. If you're not grateful and present, bro, you're cooked. You're just there. You know what I'm saying? So
So it puts in perspective. So today I had a trip to Microsoft HQ in the Ion. Very grateful for the
mhm.
opportunity. And I was just telling people, at the end of the day, no matter what happens in my life, I want to be grateful, and I want to say, even if I failed, I did everything in my power. There was no circumstance that was my fault that I failed. I worked my butt off, and I leave no doubt if I failed, it's because of something else, something I couldn't control. So that's the way I just look at it. Be grateful, do everything you can. At the end of the day, there's some things you can't control.
Bro, you said that beautifully. I ain't got nothing to add, bro. You said it beautifully. That's real. That's real though. People need
No,
to hear that.
it is, man. And a lot of people will be like, what's the point? The point is that don't leave no doubt. Especially now, whatever it may be, it could be sports, work, life. It's really gloomy, and people want to give up, and I don't blame it. Shit, I get depressed sometimes just looking at the news and what's going on.
Don't
But
even get me started. You know what side I'm on with that, bro. It's a whole
so,
bunch of, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah,
the point is don't let these external factors are always going to be there. Don't let those external factors deter you. Do everything you can, even if you know you're going to fail. At least say, well, I did it to the point that I knew it was the weather, it was something you can't control that ended up in your failure.
exactly. Nah, it's a good way to start it off, bro. You said it perfectly. Nah, snaps, snaps, snaps. But for you kind of foreshadowed it a bit running, like the half. Well, we're gonna get into the half, but first thing I want to ask, like, what is it that got you into running? Like, was it a specific person, like YouTube video, or like what was it?
So I started running my freshman year in high school. I had
Mhm.
a lot of friends. They're like, "Hey, man, you should join the cross country team, this and that." I was like, "Maybe, we'll see." And then, of course, push comes to shove, my friends were like, "Let's go." After that, once I got in it, I realized this is my passion, this is my love, and I worked my butt off. So I ran cross country and track for my high school team my freshman and sophomore year.
Mhm.
We'll get a little bit about it, but that was my origin story, my friends. And then when I understood this is a way for me to, really grow, of course, where I'm from, it's Bay City, Texas. It's a really, really small town. There's not a lot to do. And if you don't have a lot to do, you're bound to get in trouble because you've got nothing else to do. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
running was my escape. I learned a lot of things, and I honestly, in the most corny way, running really gave me an outlet and let me be who I was at the time. So I'm very grateful. And sadly, my career wasn't able to develop. So after COVID, I worked my butt off. I worked. Did decent in track. I did decent in cross country. Track came around. I was beating my times every meet. Regionals came around. and I lost the mile because I let somebody in the lane and they beat me out by the chest. And I remember that feeling like I say I worked my butt off and for what? Like it took a really hard mental toll on me. I remember my coach was like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I genuinely thought Felix, you were gonna make it a state. And you gotta think about it. Like I was a little kid, you know. And at the moment, I had a lot of mental issues. Honestly, I'm open up about it. I had an eating disorder, and you know, losing it at that point, it just broke me. And I said, you know what, I quit. You know, my as a sophomore, I was having crazy times. Like I had like my sophomore year, I had a 440 for the mile, and I
Yeah,
was
that's
like,
wild. Yeah, that's wild.
and I just you know, and I realized like I could either keep doing this and I wasn't loving it. Like I could keep doing this, but I was losing myself, and I was honestly beyond like losing the love for lose. I lost my love for running. I was losing myself. You know, I wasn't eating, I wasn't caring, and I just let it become my personality. And when nothing went my way, you know, when I lost that race, you know, you make this house out of toothpicks. A little wind comes around, you know, it's over. And I didn't run, so I didn't run. Like I just quit running and it wasn't until honestly a year ago. So it's been one, two, three. It was like 3 years before I started up again. I was like, you know, let's give it another shot. And that's when I ran a 10K and I said, fuck it, let's do the half. So it's my journey's long and I'm very, you know, it sucks with it what happens because a lot of people told me, hey, you could have gone far, you could have gotten a scholarship. But that's my story, you know, and I wouldn't change it because of the experience that I am, you know, the experience that led me up to this point. I am where I'm at.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's like, cause I don't know. People always like ask people like, do you ever regret anything you did? And I always say no. Cause I mean, personally, I think everything happens for a reason. It happens exactly how it's intended to happen. Even if it sucks, like you said, like, cause I've gone through some things with running, like I've said it before, but that like moment, I'm like, bro, you can either go this way or that way. It was like a very daunting decision, I guess if you want to put it that way. It was sophomore year and I was a 400 run at the time. I ain't know nothing about long distance, like at all.
Yeah.
So I wanted to really break 60 and it was district and I missed it by 2 seconds. And I'm like, bro, yeah, nah, I'm tired of it. Cause the thing is like the same thing with you, bro. Running for me has been the only sport I've been able to get good at. Cause the thing is I realized around the same time, I started doing long distance that, bro, you just got to be consistent. Like that's the
Yeah.
main thing. You don't have to be really, I mean, obviously skill plays a factor, but you don't have to be the most talented person to be good at running. Cause I'm a perfect example. I was just smart and like in terms of school, I was smart, but in terms of athletics, I was just like, I was all right because I didn't really apply myself until I did long distance. But anyway, like you said, like running, I don't know, like it's just something for me that I've not mastered. I don't want to say that because you can be naive and say you know it all. We never know it all, but it's something that I can really just engulf myself in and say, oh, I did that. Because I mean, with running, it's just you out there. So if something doesn't go your way, it could either just be the weather, like you said, or it could be the day. Maybe it's not the day because that's life, or it could just be you didn't prep good enough. That's very common. So yeah, I mean, that's a very good story, like origin story for running. That's very interesting for sure. I'll ask you about that like off of camera, but for sure. What were you saying?
Now I was gonna say like you said. So I have a tattoo, and it's the butterfly effect. So it's a bunch of circles within circles. At the end of the day, like you said, everything happens for a reason. I wouldn't change it because let's say I would have done something differently. Let's say I would have fucking like tore my Achilles one day. That would have that situation would have changed my whole outcome. Who knows? We would have been right here right now if something different would have changed. So I'm very grateful even for the bad because it led me up to this conversation. Any little thing you change in your life, whether it be true, it rained randomly one day when something happened, that changes your day, that changes your future, that changes everything because everything happens in a way of a domino effect. So I don't know. At least that's how I tell myself. I've been through a lot. There's a lot of things that I'm not proud of, and there's a lot of things I'm still learning. But at the end of the day, it's who I am and it's where I am in life. And like you said about running, I think you can relate to it too. Running is such a good sport because I tell people, I don't care if I have nothing. I don't have to have a watch. I don't have nobody tracking things. As long as I got some type of shoe to run in, it's up to me. It's for my own strength. It's for my own responsibility to get this run in. And I think I would tell myself, this is the one thing in my life, without a doubt, I can control. If I
Mhm.
want to run, it's by my own, like my own free will. Yeah, it's it's something so consistent. I guess that's why I gravitated too much. In a world where nothing is consistent, I knew running doesn't depend on my teammate. Running doesn't depend on like my watch or anything. It depends if I get up and I'm willing to put in the miles.
Literally. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, I ain't gonna lie, like, cause like with the idea of it, because with running, I'm very like serious. So I would kind of take it to like, because okay, this is what I would say, because I would like do a workout in the morning and I do like another workout, then I do another workout because I was in track periods. I do three. I ain't gonna lie, I don't know about that anymore, but the mindset, obviously you can take anything to extremes, but for most people, like you say, is just being consistent and having that. I wouldn't. Well, free will is a good way to say about having that discipline and that just conviction to go do that by yourself. You know what I'm saying, and not having any external force saying, "Oh, you have to do this." You know what I'm saying? It's really important in any area of life. But speaking about the half marathon a little bit, like why was it a half marathon specifically? Like why did you pick that race to do last year? Well, was it this year or last year?
it was this year. It was started this year.
That's crazy. This year we're already in March, bro. It's wild.
Dude, time flies. I remember that's how we met because I think I was talking to you about it. So for for the people listening, I ran the Houston half in January 11th or 12th. And before that even happened, I reached out to you and was like, "Hey man, I'm having a rough time. I actually was going through a lot of injury and very inconsistent." I was like, "Hey man, like any advice?" And you just highlighted rest, do what you can. At the end of the day, you're not racing against anybody except for yourself. Like this is not like one of those high school races when you're actually having to prove something to your coaches or anything. But this is more about competing and getting it done. So I really appreciate that. I want you to know you really helped me a lot. But I picked the
Nah,
half
that's good,
because
bro.
you did. No, I'm gonna give you your flowers because you did help a lot. I don't know if I'm gonna touch base on like a little bit about that, but
Yeah, I mean,
it,
sure. Yeah, no, of course. I ain't got nothing to hide against you, but no, seriously though. Well, first of all, like just in general, this is kind of off topic. I just love showing love, bro. Like, cause I see so many people hate on other people and just be envious. Just like, bro, why? I did the half. I learned what I learned from it, and I'm kind of experienced, I guess. So why not? But anyway, back to the convo. Yeah, I mean, I've never had a debilitating injury before. I had some type of like inflammation in my knee in my basketball days, which are very short lived in middle school. But I know some things about it. But I would say the main thing is patience, bro. Because I mean, I notice a lot of people try and rush through it and get back to where they were. And the thing is, like, I feel you, I respect it, but at the same time, if you do that, you're gonna get set back even further. Because if you're really passionate, obviously you're very passionate about running. You just want to dive back in and just start hammering miles, which is cool. I feel the same way. Like, I can't run for some reason, but you got to be patient and just endure the process and do prehab and physical therapy and things of that nature. So that's my kind of take on it. I mean, I've never personally been injured, but I've seen a lot of people, especially on the internet, do kind of dumb things, just ramp up mileage too high and do too many fast-paced workouts. I mean, you're bound to be injured, but just from my experience, well, not experience, I don't want to say that, but just from what I've seen,
yeah.
that's kind of the best way to go about it.
Absolutely. And after a while, I gave myself a period of rest and I said, we're gonna go into this half marathon with an open mind. There's very few people that do the half marathon in the first place. So be grateful that I'm able to even do this, let alone pay for it. That on a different topic, we need to talk about it. Running is expensive. That
Bro,
half
tell me about it, bro. Oh my gosh, yeah.
That half marathon was 178 bucks. I said, "Oh, I'm not skipping this, bro. I'm not losing my close to 200 bucks." So I said,
Yeah.
let's work for these 200 bucks and get these miles in. So I went in it. It had been like a month or two since I have even touched a long run close to 13 miles. So I was stressing. I said, let's go do. And my outcome was better than I ever could have thought. I was aiming below a 125. And I was like, dang, with all this lack of training, I'll be grateful I get like a 140. I ended
Mhm.
up getting a 128, which I was like, dang. And to the people that who want to run a half marathon, don't be afraid. You just got to throw yourself at the whoop sometime. And I remember when I crossed that finish line, and I just bawled. I was just crying. Like, call me corny,
Yeah.
call me a wuss or anything, but there's things in life that I won't ever forget, and I remember crossing that line, shedding a tear, and then putting that medal over my neck, and that's something nobody can take away from me. It's definitely a process, and for everybody, anybody can do it. I promise you. Like, don't ever like limit yourself to like something, especially not the doubters. You know.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of like showing emotion, bro, like, cause I ain't gonna lie, in middle school, like people would be like, bro, like, why are you crying? Like, why are you like showing you're a human being, bro? I'm saying like you have the right to obviously within reason, don't get erratic. But you know what I'm saying? Like if you want to cry after a race, like, bro, that's a long prep. Cause for me personally, my prep was like 5 to 6 months. Cause it didn't have to be that long, but it was coming out of high school and then we kind of ramped up from there. But yeah, bro, like I mean, I guess I'll explain why I did a half. I don't know. I don't know the exact reason, but I just wanted to progress from where I was at and do something since, you know, I couldn't really get into running like in terms of school. So I went to U of H just for academics, which I like personally. I like doing races. Obviously, the financial situation around it is kind of trash, but you know, it's cool, I guess. But yeah, I just wanted some to kind of leap into, like just kind of jump off of, excuse me, coming out of track and stuff. But I mean, long prep and like even after the race, like I was cursing and stuff, and like I was like on the ground and like you know what I'm saying, I was on my stuff, and you know what I'm saying, I felt good about myself and just because the thing is, you know, with certain races or certain events in life, you can kind of envision it. I didn't have a vision like of how I was going to look doing it. So when it happened, I was just like just fully immersed in the situation. But speaking of the half though, like what would you say is the greatest lesson you learned from it? You know?
Just gotta love it. You know, part of that, the half goes so fast. When you race the half, you're done before you know it. So I would say enjoy every part of it from start to finish. When you start training for the half, that's part of your journey. Until you cross that finish line, the good, the bad, the ugly, no matter what, gotta love it. Because I remember when I crossed that finish line, I was like, you know what, it's gonna be corny, but the journey was all about it. You know, the long nights, the track workouts. I said somebody, you know, all these nights, it's all worth it to this moment. So it's what I learned is just enjoy it, you know, and being so young, how we are, we're young, just enjoying our freedom to be able to do this, you know. So I just learned enjoy it. Shoot, even when I got injured, I was like, you know what, this sucks, but you know what, at least I'm feeling it. I'm very conscious of it, and I just learned to, you know, love it. It was crazy. I remember my family was able to come and support me, and it was just surreal. And everybody cheering, like random people like cheering you on. It's
Nah, yeah.
Shouts out to the little kid that like beat me at the end too. I was like, yo, no, whatever. You know, it's all love, man. There was this like little 12-year-old doing the half, just crossed me at the finish line. I was like, yo, what?
Yeah, this trackflation for you, bro. Just little kids just dropping crazy times, gang. It's crazy.
Nah, for real. But it was a lesson to love it, no matter what, and just show some self-love. Like at the end of the day, you know, that competitive spirit, like, you know, you get it, it'll get to your head real quick. But it doesn't matter, man. Like you never know, you never owe anybody an excuse or explanation for anything. So I was like, you know, I'm not doing this for nobody else except myself. So let's get it done. So
Nah, literally, bro, I'm glad you mentioned that. Like, this is a bit off topic from running, but just not having to explain yourself. So I've been making a bit more content related to that. Cause honestly, bro, like with my videos and just how I express myself, I just try and give people lessons that I've learned and what I'm currently going through. But anyway, like just in general, bro, like just honestly, last year I had like a low key, a dark period personally. And it was just cause I didn't know what my values were, and I didn't know what my worth was. I was putting my worth in all these digital things and all these people that don't even know you. They're never gonna talk to you on a, you know, individual level. So you just get kind of misconstrued because this person does this different, but this person does this. So you're like, bro, what do I do? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And you just get kind of lost in the sauce a bit. So just the fact you said that, like, I don't know, just a reminder that, bro, like you said, you don't have to prove anything to anybody. And when you do these races and when you do these just life endeavors, you have to have yourself. Obviously, you don't want to be selfish, but you want to do it for you, like the little you that would have wanted you to succeed and prosper, you know. And if you're doing it for likes or to prove, you know, oh, I have a faster time than you. I mean, I feel like when you complete the race and you go about your life, like it'll be short lived. Like it'll be like, like why'd I even do it? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you want to add to that, but that's just kind of what I thought.
Absolutely. I think the biggest lesson I learned growing up for me was very hard. I always felt like I had to explain myself, or but the biggest thing is, success means different for every individual. Somebody's success would be like, oh, I'm gonna break 115 in the half marathon. Well, somebody else's success is, shoot, as long as I walk the half marathon, that's all I need. So I think, your version of success doesn't need an explanation. Everybody got their own story. Everybody got their own thing going on. Because I think for me growing up, it was always like, I have to be like financially stable when I grow up. I need this, I need that. And if I don't succeed, I'm a failure. But, you start growing up, success is whether somebody wants to start a family early, they want to do travel, they want to go to college. There's no one route of success, and people will judge you for what their version of success is. You don't need to explain yourself to anybody else because they don't understand your success. Like, I'm not gonna tell somebody, oh, my success is, I'm not gonna tell them like my version of success is different from yours, because everybody's entitled to their own version. So just enjoy it for what it is. And I think nowadays people need to know that, a lot of things you see online and they think, oh, this is the version of success that is success. But no, success is so broad. And I think I've learned that through a lot of experience, a lot of heartache, but it's something, you have to learn eventually as well.
Yeah, I mean, because people would say that, like, in pop culture and just in general, saying, oh, like, everybody's different, be yourself. And, it's cheesy, but it's real, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just kind of think of it in that way. And I just think on social media, because I don't want to come off as I bash it because I use it all the time. Like, it's useful, but at the same time, the cons of it are so clear that I think I should tell people, especially my age, like, bro, we should watch out for this. But anyway, I just think a lot of people trauma dump on social media and they share everything and they get in like these echo chambers and filter bubbles, and they're like just surrounded by people that have the same opinions as them, because it can be kind of fear-based in a way, because you're like, oh, if I change and my version of success is different, like you said, you're gonna attack me and I'm gonna be belittled and I'm gonna be just judged for it, and at the end of the day, like, how am I gonna tell you or whoever, oh, my success is better than yours because mine is different than yours, so therefore you're wrong? That doesn't really make any sense, because like you said, with any area of life, like for me, I'm a big nutrition guy, obviously, with running, with music, it's so just up for interpretation. And obviously you can beg to differ. There's two things can be right at once, but at the same time, like discernment, knowing, okay, that's that person. They're on chapter 13. I'm on chapter 25. Cool. It is what it is. I'm saying, but I don't know. I just think that's really important. So I'm glad you mentioned that. And like, we're kind of on the same page with that. Like, it's just whoever you are, whatever age, like, obviously if you're not a toddler, you want to be like able to understand, but you know what I'm saying? Like, just discernment, bro. Like knowing, okay, this on the internet, this is this person doing this, but it's not useful for me. So I respect it, but I'm gonna keep it pushing. That's not for me. You know what I'm saying?
Almost, yeah. And it's just an understanding, like you said, we can be on a different chapter. Shoot, we might be on a different book, you might be
for real, yeah.
And at the end of the day, somebody got different circumstances, different cultures, different ideas. It's all right. As long as you understand, I think that's the biggest thing, like understanding at the end of the day.
Nah, for sure. Last part to wrap, I guess running and some other philosophical stuff here and there, just because you kind of mentioned it, like you're not running right now. So like, what's your current goals for running? Like any upcoming races? Or are you just kind of like, lifting a bit more and running kind of just in the background a bit?
I most have the goal. So I kind of have a goal. So right now, after the half marathon, I was like, it's time to take a little break. It took a lot. Honestly, it took a lot of mental toll on me. Not in a like bad or good way. It was just a lot, Right. And as I enter my master's program this semester, I was like, let me just focus on lifting and growing muscle, gaining some weight, and studying. So that's all I'm doing right now. I do, though, after the summer, I want to start getting ready for a full marathon. So the goal is by the end of the year, full marathon, start of next year, maybe start looking into another half, or if not, jump the gun and just do an ultra.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, I'd be so honored to pace you, bro, because my friend Chris, he's done ultras, and I think I'm gonna pace him next year. So, bro, if you want someone to pace you, I'm so down. I'm a geek about ultras, bro.
I want to honestly, I want to do like a crazy ultra. I want to do like the Big Ben ultra.
Yeah, I'm glad we're friends, bro. You know what you're talking about. You know ball. You know ball.
Dude, that and I recently went to Palo Duro Canyon and I was going through I was out there because they be doing like like crazy ultras over there in the
Mhm.
canyons and I was like, shoot, like I could get into this, but in all due time. Right now, all that I'm focused on is my education, getting some muscle, and enjoying it for what it is. So I'm entering my senior year next year, so definitely got to put my priorities in my education. So that I'll keep you updated as it comes. But right now, it's all about education and well-being and mental health.
Now, mental. Speaking of mental health, a little bit, like, because I mentioned like a little bit, like late last year's. That was like the roughest for me mentally, personally. So, bro, just knowing. I think the biggest thing for me, we're gonna touch on this a bit later, but just knowing how to detach yourself from the digital world we're in, because I feel like you see so many opinions. Like I was saying, like I kind of got convoluted as to, okay, who am I now? Because I saw this person, their success looks like this, they're doing this, but I'm like, okay, like mine is a bit different. I feel a bit like discouraged in a way, like kind of confused. So I don't know if that's worked for you or if that's a kind of mode for you to kind of prioritize mental health. But for me personally, like just getting off the phone, bro, and just kind of doing other things that will serve me better.
Oh, absolutely. I think, at the end of the day, comparing yourself at the end of the day, will tear you down. Especially when I transferred here. When I transferred to my university, I saw different people that seemed that like they knew a lot more than me, and I was like, dang, where am I actually in life? Started making like questioning myself. And then obviously on social media, you look at this stuff and you're like, dang, like it makes you feel even worse. But I think doing what you love, I think whether it be running, listening to music, ground yourself back in reality. It's so easy to get lost, but at the same time, I think it's easy to find yourself again, just doing what you love, enjoying what you can, and having good connections around you. A lot of times when I felt really confused, I realized that I have good people around me to be like, hey man, like it's never the end all be all. And you got to remember, for like people our age, I'm only 21 and I'm talking like I'm unk and like I'm 25, like bro,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like even when you're like my brother's 30 something and he's like, bro, even now, like yeah, I have a good stable job, but shoot, I don't got like my next 40 years planned out. Nobody does. And
Exactly.
even the people that seem like they got figured out, shoot, nothing's promised, man. So that's all it is.
Literally, I like what stood out to me was the end all be all, because like that kind of goes with black and white thinking. Like you're like, oh, like it's either this or that. I mean, because literally, I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, bro, what am I going to be doing in 5 years? Because life changes. Like obviously, the cornerstones like fitness, running, walking, stuff like that, lifting. But like maybe I'll be in a relationship. Maybe I'll be at a different school. You never know. I don't know. So it's kind of like with life, it's like but you don't know. Like some things, but like a lot of things are uncertain, and God or whatever, people believe in has a different path for you. So I don't know. That's kind of what I think about that.
Hey man, that quote and it's never the end all be all, man. It's held me down. So it's definitely something I always tell myself. It's never the end all be all. Like I always tell people too, like when they're going through some situation, I tell them, man, it's never the end all be all. There's always, don't think it's black and white, like you said. There's other things in life. The world is so big, opportunities are so vast. It's never the end all be all.
Nah, I'm gonna start using that, bro. Because I feel like I don't know about you, bro, but like mentally, like just not talk. I wouldn't say talking to yourself like you're like spazzing out in a way, but you know what I'm saying, like just in your head, or even actually, yeah, talking to yourself. I don't think that's
Yeah, I
bad
talk
in
to
a way.
myself, man.
Yeah, I
I be
mean,
talking to
because
myself.
I just helps. I think it helps you compartmentalize of what you're thinking and actually understand. Because when it's in your head, you're like, it's just too much going on. So if you write it down or say it, like it just helps you kind of really break it down. I don't know, like because you just kind of said like it works for you, but like, what do you think about that though?
For me, at the end of the day, I think like everybody says, you're your own biggest supporter, your own biggest hater. So depending on what you tell yourself, at the end of the day, I tell myself, before interviews, before runs, this is what you've been training for. This is what I'm here for. So obviously, like I think like really talking to yourself, like going like acknowledging what you're feeling. I think it's a big part in what people should implicate. and whatever they're going through, whether it's a good or bad. I remember right before the half marathon, I just like told myself, I deserve to be here. Yeah, my parents have worked hard to get me to where I am in life, and I've worked myself, and from there, I worked so hard to be here in this moment. So, that's, I mean, it's corny to say that I talk to myself, but it's the truth. I'm not gonna deny it. I'm my biggest supporter at the end of the day, and I know what I need to fix. I know what I need to do. I know what my strengths and weaknesses, and not only myself internally can I get myself to change and be better or use my strengths.
Nah, that's perfect way of saying it. I agree 100%. But next thing, this is kind of a different thing than running, like this artistic expression in photography. Because I noticed, just did some research, like you take a lot of photos of yourself and just other things. So what draws you into photography specifically? Like, was it like maybe when you were younger you kind of played with the camera a bit, or maybe you just saw something cool, like, bro, I should just start taking pictures,
No, for sure. That's a good question though. When I was younger, my older brother, he's older by like 12 years. He was shooting like film, like 35 millimeter film on an analog camera. And I
Okay.
thought I thought it was neat. Like that's crazy. He's using like old film and taking pictures. And fast forward when I got a little older, he bought me my own camera. And I started experimenting. I said, even if I'm not good at it, this is something that I really enjoy. So like from there, it just kind of blossomed, and it was my hobby. And I started taking pictures of my friends. Film has a specific aesthetic and specific look. I would say it's expensive. Like film is so expensive to
Yeah.
develop and buy, but it's something that brings me joy. Like some people read books, some people do that, but for me, it's film. Like even if the film is like, even if the picture's like really bad, I really appreciate like somebody went there, took a shot, or I took the shot. It's a lot of memories, and some of my best friends I've met over the years are because we just appreciate the art, the craft, how good our pictures are, how bad our pictures are. So it's definitely started from my brother and just grew into this love of enjoying the craft and the process. So I
Right.
mean, similar to you, I mean, obviously you record stuff and you do this, but like you want to share similar what your situation was like. How'd you grow to love this?
That's a good question, bro. I mean, because honestly, bro, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna start from music and go to what I do now, because you'll see why. So I don't know why I always wanted to just do something and not be famous, but I wanted to help people in a grand scale, right? So first it was music. I've always been a big music fan, still am to this day. I love music and finding new artists, but I would make music, and at first it was kind of ass. I ain't gonna lie. So got started getting better, and I'll say I got really good in my personal opinion in like 2022. Then I just stopped, because I'm like, a lot of stuff I'll talk about, I was doing like, doing drills, popping this. And I'm like, bro, I don't do that. I don't want to like, because you can listen to music to a song, talk about that, and it's not gonna make you want to do that inherently. But for me, I just felt like I can't really engulf myself in something that I don't do. So I was like, okay, what can I do? And I started getting really into nutrition, like really into nutrition. So I was like, okay, this is something I really do. I really value. So why don't I start sharing it? And, running came along. I started sharing that and just life stuff, because I feel like you can never be too old to hear some life advice that you may have not known. So that's kind of how it started, but it didn't really take off until like 2024. And then that's when I had a lot of videos I first started making. Obviously, first start, it's okay. But now I just try and portray a story. And I'm a big transitioner guy. Like you always see a lot of transitions and cool edits. And just, I just try and make it look official, have a good message. And, people flock eventually, and people will like what they like. If they don't like it, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah. At the end of the day, what I like that you said is it's the storytelling, what you want to portray to these people. As a marketing major, like for me, like the biggest part of it is like storytelling, man. You're telling something to the audience. You want them to feel something, and that's how you create loyalty and interest. So definitely what you're doing. Like I love it, man. Like I remember Aiden. People who know Aiden or
Nah, Aiden's been on here 2 times. Yeah.
there we go.
Shout out to
That's
Aiden. That's my goat.
not for real. It's that's how he was reposting your stuff. Like, hey, this guy seems cool. Like I saw the video when you ran the half, and I was like, okay, let me contact him. And that's Aiden was like, yo, I got you. And then here we are, man.
Because literally, bro, like that's just what I want to do. Like what you said, like loyalty and like just like like a little like community. Like that'd be so dope. Like people are actually waiting to watch my stuff. I mean, maybe I have people like that now. I don't know if I do, shout out to y'all, but like just people that are waiting for your stuff. Like, what is Kane finna say? I'm saying people that can, because I don't want to be like this God. I would hate that. Like, you know what I'm saying, I want to be just a normal human. And if I'm wrong, correct me, please. Like, let's have some discourse, like healthy discourse. Like, also, you don't have to do name calling and stuff. But bro, if you don't agree, like, let's have a discussion. Like, okay, and I can learn. Okay, I was wrong about that for sure. Like, appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? We keep it pushing. But yeah, bro, like, it's gonna happen eventually. Buying a lie, like a part of it too. Like I've realized recently, because I don't know if you've heard of Slayer. Like he's like a artist or whatever. Like people like pretty much. I'm gonna just use him as an example to get to this point. Pretty much he's like a up incoming artist or whatever, and people are just calling him like weird stuff, and like, you know, on Twitter they just start flaming you for no reason, right? And I realized, I don't know why, but that thing made me realize that it don't matter how just safe you are with what you post, it don't matter how PC or whatever you want to call it, you know, just being just plain and like just going with sheep or whatever, it doesn't matter. Like people are going to find any way to say, I don't like that, you're trash, you're this and that. So this gave me more conviction. Like, bro, hey, I know who's gonna like this just off rip, because I know y'all are close to me, y'all mess with me. I'm gonna just post it, let it fly, see what happens. And I think that can be paralyzing, like worrying about, oh, are they gonna criticize me? Or are they gonna like bash me? And you just don't move. You know what I'm saying? I think that hurts a lot of people, especially with how big TikTok and stuff is now. People just think they can say anything. So I mean, that's kind of my thoughts on that. But I don't know if you like, I mean, we're running in like film, because I mean, with a film, I mean, you can post it, but like taking a picture, it's not necessarily like immediate, like any feedback, I guess. But I mean, I guess you could deal with that on social media just in general.
Yeah, a lot of my pictures, specifically film, like what you see on my Instagram, it's a lot of digital. My film, it's for me personally, you know. I rarely show my film pictures. If I do, it means something, because these pictures mean something to me. They're beyond what I want to share. They're just meaningful. So like things like that, like, you know, I keep it under wraps because it's a hobby, it's a passion. So that's why, like you said, like this art form, it's art that I appreciate it, you know. Well, all these hobbies, I always tell people, you know, people are gonna have something to say. And for this one reason, what somebody finds passion in, somebody else finds corny. You know, everybody got their own little, you know, their own little thing, you know, and somebody be like, dang, he's really into that. Like, why would he? No. And then you vice versa, you might say the same thing. Everybody got their own passion, and people just don't understand it because, I mean, they don't appreciate it as much as you do.
Exactly. Appreciation is a big thing. Because another thing too, to answer your question, like of earlier, like why did I start doing the videos? Also, I just felt an attachment to it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like just appreciation when I edit a video. Cause I remember this one day, this is how I knew, I'm like, yeah, like I really like this. Cause there was this one transition I found. I literally got up out of my chair and started geeking. I'm like, bro, this transition is wild. Like, gang, like what? Cause it was like a paper thing. It's the soda video I made. If you want to see it, viewers, or, you know, Felix, you know, you can check it out. But like it opened it and it like kind of like zoomed down in. I'm like, gang, this is hard. But when I saw that, I'm like, yeah, like it's just, I don't know, just like we said, putting together a story and just creating something. I really like because I always keep my like ideas in Google Keep or like a notes app or whatever. So I'll have ideas months away and I might post it tomorrow. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I've had the idea in the tuck, and just seeing it come to life, I'm like, that's really cool. I'm saying I just had started to grow appreciation for it. Like I've had this idea in the lock and no one even knows I know, you know what I'm saying? And I go and see, I'm like, oh, this is a cool idea. I just make it like just pop, you know. It's obviously like I'm gonna look at it in 5 years and be like, yeah, this video is kind of trash. I ain't gonna hold you. But you know, right now I feel like it's cool, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, last question about photography, just expression. Like, what's your favorite picture that you've taken personally or that someone has taken of you?
I think one of my favorites of all time, picture that I took. So after high school, I moved to New York for like a month.
Word?
Why?
It's
Why?
crazy.
Because I was wilding. I was like, you know, like freak it, like I can do whatever I want. We'll figure it out. So it was in New York for a month, and I went to this art museum, and it was you know, I'll send it to you so you can put it or whatever, you can edit it in.
I
And
got you.
it's a I was at the MoMA. It's the moment. Yeah, it was the moment. It's one of the bigger museums in New York, and it's a picture of this woman looking at this picture, and it's, I don't know, it was very poetic, the reflection, and it was just very meaningful to me. And part of that is like, I was young, I was in New York by myself, so I think it was like just very like looking back, I was 19 alone in New York, so it has some meaning towards it, but also the picture's just beautiful. It was a picture of it was an art piece of Marilyn Monroe, and this like woman looking at it, and you can't see her face at all, and it's her blonde hair. It was just very poetic because it was just, she was looking at it very deeply. They share the same hair color. um I don't know, it was very special. So I definitely, it was one of those pictures when I look back to, I always think about it as like, damn, that was a good picture. And then I started to think about the memories. And so I'll definitely send it to you. You can pop it up. But yeah. And
Not
then
for
for
sure.
recently, I don't know if you saw it, but somebody took a picture of me and it was a bunch of my tattoos on my
I,
stomach.
I saw that. Yeah.
That one was tough. So that's my friend Alex. Shout out to Alex.
Yeah. Shout out to Alex.
Not for real. So he took pictures of me because he was like, "Hey man, like just like you, I love taking film pictures," and that's how we connected. And then we hadn't hung out like that, like because we were so busy. And then one time he was like, "Hey bro, we got time?" I said, "We got time." So we went around all Houston, random. We went to like this underpass with some wild stuff in there. We like broke into like this little area, and we were just taking pictures. And it's the picture, just a picture of me with my shirt off, showing my tattoos and a cigarette in my hand. It was just so beautiful, like the contrast. And like I said, growing up, I had a lot of body issues, and especially with eating. So like my tattoos have been a reflection that it's okay to be comfortable, like without my shirt and off. And seeing that picture and like the support that I got from like other people saying that, you look really good. That was a really good picture. Like, it really reminded me of how much I've grown over the years to be comfortable with my shirt off as well. You know?
Yeah, yeah, bro. Like, just because I've had experiences like that too in life where I haven't felt comfortable with myself, and now I'm at like a point in time where I'm like, bro, like, okay, you got a little motion. Like, I'll see a picture of my eye, like, because you obviously some people like may say, "Oh, you're being too cocky." I mean, you can be, but just a lot of people don't like themselves, bro. And I think that's important to learn yourself. And because I mean, you're you know everything about you, so just taking steps to journal and talk to yourself and just be nice. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, if you mess up, call yourself out and, correct it and get better. But at the same time, bro, you got to be nice to yourself. And just what you said, like from where you were to now, that's progress. And that kind of goes to like progress can be anything in life. Like, just like you said, right? Coming from that dark spot to where you are now and being able to do that, like progress can be something so minute, you know what I'm saying? People don't even know what I'm saying? So also we talk about running and film and videos. That's, you can see like with metrics and analytics with videos, obviously times, but even just an internal battle you had, bro, that no one knows, and you finally win one day because you'll know the feeling if it's you're really in it. So, but yeah, bro, that's really cool. I like that picture a lot too.
Yeah. Oh, I was
Yeah,
thinking,
that's tough.
edit it, boom, plop it on there really quick.
Nah, hey, listen, I'm Mr. Editor, so I got you.
Oh, sure.
I got you for sure. I got the other one you said earlier too, for sure. Next thing too, like I saw you are at a lot of concerts, and even the little it looks like a tiny desk type thing, like a little jazz setup. That was dope because you sent if for context for the viewers, like, so I was talking to him like, hey, you want to hop on? And he's like, yeah, for sure. So he just sent me his videos like where he was at. I think you were like studying or something. I don't know. But it looked like dope. But anyway, what would you say is the best concert you've been to so far, and why?
I love music, and I love live music. I've been to quite a bit of concerts in my life. I've gone to see like Earl Sweatshirt, Mike.
Oh, okay. Very
Yeah,
good picks. Very good picks.
I'm in touch. I've seen The Alchemist. I've seen what's her name? She's like famous. What's her name, bro?
Like, what
Faye
does she look?
Webster.
Oh
Faye
yeah,
Webster.
yeah.
Faye Webster. Gojira. But Turnstile. But my favorite concert of all time, hands down, I've seen Tyler Creator, by the way. I totally forgot about that.
Oh, for real? When is this?
Back for the Igor tour.
Wow, that's crazy.
Back then when he was in he wasn't like a little smaller venue than he does now. It was the NRG NRG Arena, so it was smaller from like his stadium tours now. So it's
Right.
pretty cool to say. But my hands down, it has to be Deftones. Like I've seen Deftones twice, and they're amazing. The energy, amazing. Also, I'm biased. I love their music. I love mosh pitting. Like every time that I seen them, like I'm in that GA pit. I'm like swinging.
Yeah.
So for people who listen to Deftones, like they're worth seeing live. I saw them in 2020 and or 2021, something like around there. And then I saw them last year around this time. But yeah, that experience was surreal. Again, like I remember they were playing a specific song, and I was just looking up. I was like, damn, like I'm really here right now. Like, and I just got emotional. I'm an emotional dude, man.
Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with that, gang. Like I said earlier, like it's okay to show emotion, bro. Especially like in moments like that, you're like, bro, like fine, because like, bro, let's say I had an artist I really liked, like a Earl. Because for me, bro, I love that you brought up Earl. Live, Laugh, Love, classic. I don't care. That might be his best album to me. I don't know. I mean, I need to listen to each one, but for me, bro, that album, especially Exhaust, like the last like bar, he's like, at the end of the day, it's really just you and whatever you think. I'm air melon, you train. If he said something like that, I'm like, bro, because at that time, that's like the little dark period I was in, bro. That just touched me like on a different level. Pause. but I don't know, bro. Like I like Earl. I like Slayer. I mentioned him earlier. I like Kendrick Cole. I like Doom. I'm a big MF Doom fan.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I get more into like I like Title Fight. I like Title Fight, but I need to get more into like rock and alternative rock and stuff like that. I have like one or two friends that are into rock, so obviously you too. Anyway, that's cool though. So if I had to pick a favorite concert for me, I ain't gonna lie, my concert track record is very scarce. Probably I went to go see DC to Dawn. I don't know if you know who that
Oh, that's
is,
pretty
but
cool. Yeah, I do know who that is.
yeah, I saw him, and I think that was it. To be honest with you, that was the only one I've been to, and it was pretty cool. Like I went with a few friends; it was dope. But yeah. Anyway, like speaking of different people, like Earl, and then you go all the way to Deftones. Like, what would you say is your favorite genre of music if you had to pick and why?
I don't know, man, because like honestly, I love like this like alternative rap. Like Earl's is so weird sometimes and so interesting, the beats and everything. I love that, and I grew up on that type of stuff or and everything. But I think what my favorite genre has to be is like new metal, like which is like just a different type of like rock or I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to butcher it. I don't want to say the right thing, but
I got
it's a
you.
genre. It's a genre called new metal. Limp Bizkit's in there. Deftones, Slipknot, and it's like a lot of it growing up. My brother was listening to, and I was around. And then now that I grew up, it's like all I be jamming to. So it's definitely a lot of influence from my older brother. A little off topic, bro. If Earl Sweatshirt ever goes on tour, we gotta go, bro.
Hey, look, sign me up. I'm down. Like, cause I listened to Earl when he dropped some rap songs. Wasn't that 2018?
Yeah,
So
yeah, I think
I was
so.
I was listening to Earl back then, but I didn't really tap in with him until 2025, like I said, just because I was just, I was on listening to Freddie Gibbs that year, to, clips, and I was really tapped into music. So when he dropped, I'm like, let me listen. But anyway, yeah, bro, like I'd be down for sure. Like we gotta set it up. We gotta get the run in too. There's a bunch of stuff we gotta do, bro.
Oh, it sure is. And then I don't know if you know, but Mike and Earl are dropping an album soon
Yeah,
this
so I
year.
was like 30 some songs, but it's short. It's like 30 minutes, which is weird, but
Yeah.
I'd be down to listen. If I had to pick my favorite genre, it's probably rap. I mean, I love R&B. I like Title Fight, like I said. I'm a big fan of alternative rock. I like alternative rock probably a bit more than like hard metal.
Mhm.
It depends on the artist, but I'd probably say rap for sure. But talking about concerts and stuff like that, like would you say going to these things like concerts, traveling, like being more outgoing, would you say that helps you like be more present in life? And do you think that can help other people be more present?
Yeah, obviously, like I'll say yes and no because I don't think you need to spend money to be present. Obviously, like if you have the ability and the opportunity to, yeah, of course. Like recently, I took a trip to Palo Duro Canyon, and it was amazing. Like you kind of like I for me, it snapped me back to reality too. Like oh, there's so much more out there. But honestly, for the people that want to like feel a certain way or want to do some simply is going out to the park or taking a walk, there's certain things that you see like dang, this is what it's all about, playing with your dog. You don't necessarily have to like pay for concerts or necessarily do crazy things to live. There's a lot of free things out there. There's a lot of things you could do just in general around your town. So I would say just going out and doing what you love. You know, some people don't like sweating, some people don't like walking. Then all right, then that's cool. Read a book at home, and you know sometimes that brings you back to reality and grounds you down. So it's I think it's up to the person, but you know there's so much to do. You don't got to spend money, just love it.
Nah, exactly. I agree 100%. But speaking of traveling though, like can we get the lore on the Converse thing? Because I mean, people may not know the lore about it, but bro, like, cause I saw like I think the captions like broken in Converse can do it all, and like I saw the pics, I'm like, yo, that's wild. Like, I even like talked to you about like, bro, that's crazy. I thought it was the Grand Canyon for a second. I'm like, bro, like no, but you know what I'm saying? Like, where was that at, gang? Because like it looks like crazy.
So hold on, let me. I got the Converse on right now. I'm gonna pull up the like how bad, bro. I have no grip on my shoes whatsoever, and I took these on a 15-mile hike
Yeah,
with
that's crazy.
with over 3,000 like feet of elevation. Like, you know, some people was and people were sliding up on my story saying like, "Yo, that's wild. Your feet gonna hurt, man." Broken in Converse can do it all, bro. Never got hurt, never slipped. My feet never hurt. So that's the story behind it, and where that's at is in Amarillo. So it's a 10-hour drive from here straight north, like just going straight up to the Panhandle. And just I was telling people like it's worth it. You know, there wasn't a lot of people and it was beautiful, and it's completely different from what's around here. So a bunch of canyons, a bunch of like hills, beautiful, 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 beautiful. And it like again for me, it really brought me down to reality. Doesn't you know, I wanted, you know, going into this trip, I was like, I want to see something different. You know, I love the city. The city's cool, but you know, you can get overwhelmed sometimes. Like, you know, it's time to take a breath, see nature, touch some grass.
No,
And
literally, yeah.
I went out there and I was like, you know, I'm very grateful where I'm in life, and this is what I'm working towards, where I can do this more often, and I, you know, or even take some friends more, like you know, when I have like when gas isn't so expensive, you know, type.
Oh lordy. Oh gosh.
So
Wait,
we gotta do we'll do a little another episode for different topics if you know what I mean.
yeah, for sure. I mean, but yeah, that's wild, the gas stuff. Anyway, but yeah, like I've never okay, I'll give the lore on my traveling excursions, which are kind of boring compared to yours, but I went to Vegas. I ain't gonna lie, I had no motion in Vegas. Like I fell asleep the first night. They went on the boardwalk. I did not go. Super big L. But it was cool, like just the ambiance and just the vibe around it. Like, cause I saw the mountain view, like kind of with the hotel we were at. So it was dope. I went there. I've been through like Alabama, Arkansas, stuff like that. But I actually went to Tennessee and Memphis one night, like a little 2-night trip. It was cool. Obviously, I've been to Louisiana. I mean, if you're in Texas, you've been to Louisiana. I've been to Florida twice. I've been to Destin. That was a drive. And I've been to Orlando. That was the more like hype one because we went on this. All right, I'm gonna give a little bit of lore on this too. It's this roller coaster called the Rock and Roll roller coaster. Boy. So listen, let me visualize it. I think I said this on a podcast before, but I'm gonna reiterate it for people that didn't hear. So you're sitting and you're going up, like you're sitting, but like you're tilted upward, if that makes sense. And you're going straight up, and then like it like tilts you up. I don't know if it's the best way to say it, but you're like in this position, it just drops you. You know what I'm saying, and then it just circles you in a 360, and it's this big drop, bro. I felt my stomach like fall out of my body. Like I was like, gang, like what is going on? The second bad, not bad, it wasn't bad, but it was a little bit much for me at the age I was at. I think I was like 10, which is wild. But this one called the Mummy, and the like main, I guess, tipping point of that is it just yanks you backwards, and then you go in like 360s. But it's wild. It's a fun ride. It'd probably be better for me now, but I really just wanted to get the lore on the Converse because, like, bro, like I never really asked you that personally, but I saw it. I'm like, that's super live. Like, that's cool, bro.
Yeah, bro, we went super underprepared. Like me and my brother are athletic, so we knew whatever we took, we were gonna be able to do it. But I remember we were in like long sleeves, some jeans, and our like normal. I was in Commerce, he was like in New Balances, and then people are coming like passing us, or we're passing them, and they're wearing like crazy like hiking gear, like Patagonia, North Face, shorts, hiking boots, and then it's just us like in our jeans and like Converse, looking wild, and we're just like hauling the ass the whole time. So it's different. It's also another thing, like you don't need this crazy gear to be out there. Like as long as you more or less fit and you love it and you're just going out there, you'll be all right. So
Yeah. Also, if you can just stand your pivot, like be safe, don't do anything stupid. You should be all right. I'm talking like I know what I'm talking about. I'm just going off what you said. I have no idea, but nah, state
I would
South
say
tends to do
this.
that.
We were there and like you can go off the trails, like you don't necessarily. So we were like low key walling. So we are on top of this mountain. We're like, we just want to go over there, and we're like running through like this like crazy like no path, stepping on cactuses. Like we were definitely not safe. And then we were talking about like this is why like men end up dying so much like younger than women because
Yeah, yeah,
we're like walling, we're like jumping off things we shouldn't be jumping. It's so we're definitely to the viewers, be safe, but we were definitely not safe. But we came out all good. It's a learning
yeah,
curve.
yeah, for sure. I mean, sometimes with your like friends, like doing like also when you're younger too, like when you get older, you kind of just want to sit in the house and just, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like just doing some crazy, obviously not like super illegal, but you know, it's just lore. You can tell your kids later down the line.
What's that?
Yeah. But last part I want to go over. At the end, I'm gonna do like a little rapid fire question or whatever. I haven't done this in a minute, so I wanted to do it here, but we kind of touched on it a bit, like just navigating social media. So like just in general, like what's your personal take on social media? Like any pros, any cons? Just what do you think about it?
There's some pros and cons, obviously. I'll start with the cons. Obviously, people can really feed into it. I think people take in social media so much that it becomes their identity and a fad. Like it doesn't become healthy, you know. It's never happened to me so far, but I definitely seen the bad things of it. You know, in people, I don't know. It's very hard on people, whether it is like within your own friends or like people you don't even know who are hating on you. It's very hard. Or even like I know, like when we're younger, you know, people have social media and they don't really understand it, and they're just doing some wild stuff. And then, I mean, I think people don't realize this is a digital footprint. You know, who knows who has your pictures, who has videos of you doing wild stuff. So there's a lot of cons to it. But in reality, for me, it's been something very good for me. I mean, I come from a very small town, very close-minded like town. But social media was like, oh, you know, it's okay to be a little bit different. You know, in high school, I shaved my hair and bleached it and I had it pink. And
Yeah.
like for the town, it was wild. Like people were looking at me like I was crazy. And then like you start hearing people say things, and then you start to question, am I crazy? But like I looked at social media, you know, there's people out there that express themselves the way I did. So I was like, you know, I'm not crazy. There's other people like myself that, you know, like to experiment, like to do different things, and it's okay to not have the same opinion. Not just that, it's been like a really good outlet for me. You know, I mean, I remember growing up, I started taking fit pics and I started doing film, and you know, I didn't. Nobody else was doing it at the time, so like it was a really good outlet for me. And even like within a spam account, I started posting whatever I was doing, and people liked it, and I was like, you know, this is cool because you know, this is the authentic me. You know, and people appreciate it. And not just that, it created a lot of opportunities with me. I remember back when I was younger, like thrifting and vintage became like super big, and I got into it because I really enjoyed it. You know, also you're reducing waste, so I was like learning about it, and then that's when I started flipping vintage. I was making a lot of money. I bought like chrome hearts back when it was like cheap, and I was like flipping it. I remember bought like a real chrome hearts belt buckle for like 750 bucks. Flip that for like 1,500, quick, easy profit. You know what I mean? And I was just doing that. So a lot of opportunities have been given to me because of social media, a lot of outlet, a lot of music, a lot of connections. You know, so I'm very grateful to say that. I mean, honestly, social media has been a very much of a tool than like something that's been hurting me. So that, but I think that that's how my journey's been. You know, I do know there's a lot of bad to it. I do think it needs to be regulated a lot more. Whether it be by the state or even like these social media companies that are wilding sometimes. Um, but you know, I'm grateful for my opportunities that it's given me.
Nah, for sure. Because I mean, I don't want to come off as like someone who bashes it. I mean, because I do think the cons are very. Because I think when you're on social media, like especially in the short form part of it, like you just see 30-second clips. You're not really digesting what you're consuming, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I think is important to highlight. But also too, like, bro, like I post on there, you know what I'm saying? I met you on there. I've met other people on there. I listen to music off of like, you know, the internet, like apps, right? So like just the way, like, cause I have like one friend in Michigan. Shout out to you. You know who I'm talking about. Like, I've never seen her face in person, but like we met through a mutual friend, and like, we were FaceTiming. You can meet so many people, bro. I have people in different parts of Texas that I've never met physically, and just other parts of the world. Like, I think I have one person like kind of in India or something, like something crazy, bro. But even just like this conversation, like someone might be watching it, like I have viewers in India. I saw someone like, gang, what? Like, appreciate it, but that's cool. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, it has pros, cons, but just being, because I like also that you said this is my experience. Like, you're not saying this is the end all be all, like you said earlier. This is just your version of it, and someone may be able to relate. Like me, I can relate in some way. Some people may be able to say, it's been kind of bad for me, But other than that, like, how do you balance like being somewhat tuned into it, but like also taking time to, ground yourself and detach yourself, like you were saying earlier?
I think you just gotta learn to. It's easier than said. There's a life that I'm willing to show here on my phone, and there's the life that I know that I value outside of that. Out here you're gonna see me doing this and that, but like when I'm out here, I really value, making connections, speaking to people. You gotta really disconnect sometime, and for that, it's like understanding that social media is there as a tool and as entertainment. I'm not letting that be like an extension of myself. A lot of people will let that be an extension. So like, oh, I had to do this, I had to do that. No, like that's just for me to have fun. Honestly, I use it as a tool to text my friends, make connections, and obviously make some cool posts because it's fun and it's entertaining. But besides that, like, it's not me. It's me, but it's not me, because I'm not gonna let this dictate my life. I dictate that app, So I just learning that, you at the end of the day, as long as you have yourself, it doesn't matter if, whatever it's on social media. Like you said, at the end of the day too, you only see so much of every person's life. You don't know what they're going through, and they don't know what you're really going through at all either. So I think, there's a separation between the two, and there has to be. So that's the way at least I look at it.
Yeah, I mean, piggybacking off of what you said, like, there's pros, there's cons, but I think the main danger, in my opinion, like we kind of said, is just attaching your self-worth to it. The thing is, it can be gone now. Like, people can terminate apps and stuff, and if you put too much of your worth and likes, and just not having discernment, like I was saying earlier, not having the ability to learn, okay, this person posts this, that's cool, but that has nothing to do with me. Like, I can't absorb anything from that. And some people, I might say something, someone else may say something, and they're like, bro, that hit home. I'm going to use that, which is great, going back to pros and cons. But just the main thing I really like that you said earlier, like in the beginning of the convo, is just grounding yourself, bro, grounding yourself into your real life, and maybe texting your mom, like, hey, like, how are you doing? Texting your friend, because I don't know about you, but for me, like, if how I say it, like, I don't really text first like that. Like, I try and wait for people. I got to realize, like, bro, you got to text first sometimes. Anyway, that's another topic. But yeah, just texting people and checking in with people that you really know. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, you can meet people on social media and, learn them more. But I don't know, bro. It's just, like you said, detaching yourself and just being okay with detaching yourself and giving yourself the approval to,
Yeah, and I think a lot of people get comfortable in what you use, whether this could be attached to AI, computers, whatever. You just can't ever let yourself get comfortable in relying on things like this. Like, don't feel like you have to get let's say like compliments or reassurance from an app or something. No, at the end of the day, just know what your value is as a human being, and these are nothing but tools to us as people.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a perfect way to wrap it up. Well, like I said, rapid fire questions, and then just some closing points at the end. So these are just 5, not like any like career ending, life ending questions, just a little simple stuff. But first one, half marathon or a 5K?
Half marathon.
Good choice. I ain't gonna lie, 5Ks hurt. I ain't gonna hold you. They hurt really badly.
Also, the 5Ks, like, honestly, talking about how much you have to pay for them. I'm not paying $20 for a 5K for it and like that. I'd rather pay a little bit more for like something I know is like worth the money. Like, I can run a 5K whenever, like, and you can say the same thing for a half marathon, but the experience for the half marathon is better.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a good way to think about it. I never thought about it that way. But second one, road trip or like go on a flight somewhere?
Road trip, man.
Yeah,
That's
we're on the
it.
same page. Because bro, I haven't been on one in a minute, and I've been telling my Dukes like, bro, let's go on a road trip. She hasn't really confirmed it, but hopefully sometime during the year we do one. That'd be pretty dope. But third question: concert or art museum? That's a hard one.
Concert because concerts come and go. You can always go to the museum later.
True. That's okay. You're answering these very, very nicely. That's a very good pick.
Joking, God.
Fourth one, a little bit of more music focus. ASAP Rocky or Travis?
ASAP Rocky.
I hear
A$AP
a lot of
Rocky.
people say that.
Hey, there wouldn't be no Travis without ASAP Rocky. Hot take, but it's true.
Hey, I like Travis, but if I had to pick one, I'd probably say Travis. I don't know. I have more lore with Travis, but I mean, ASAP was a part of my childhood somewhat, but I don't know. That's just because rodeo. I love rodeo. So, last question though, before we get into the closing points: taking photos or taking videos?
Taking photos.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, but very good conversation, bro. Again, like I'm very happy to have you on here. Thank you for taking time out of your day to just chop it up with me. I mean, it's been over an hour. So thankfully we're using Google Meet this time and Zoom. Like I ain't gonna lie, they'd be tripping. They'd be like, oh, 30 minutes, you're out of there. So anyway, closing points, like just anything you want to leave the people with or just say or just I don't know, just something to say.
Almost definitely, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to even speak, So it's cool to be on the platform with you. Keep doing it, and we're definitely gonna have more stuff in the future. Like whatever it is, if we record a running, if we go to concert, we do another one of these.
Nah,
And
for
just
sure.
to finish it off, like saying a couple of things, be grateful. It's never the end all be all, and just enjoy it, man. We're talking about loving who you are as a person, and enjoying what your struggles are and your successes are. A little corny too, but I always think about J. Cole's song "Love Yours." There's no
Yeah.
what does he say? There's no life better than the one you've got. And this
Yeah.
this is all we got. And I mean, you can you can hope and pray whatever you like for something different. But at the end of the day, this is who you are and what you got. Be proud of it. Work with it. And strut your stuff, man. Because at the end of the day, this is who you are. And you gotta love it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that was the podcast, y'all. Thank you, Felix, for hopping on. I mean, yeah, like you said, you dropped a lot of gems in this one. People got to, really listen. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up now. Thank y'all for watching. Whoever decided to tune in, and I'm gonna see y'all next time.